Welcome back. You're watching Win-Win Power News. We have with us Mr. Hari Shankar Brahma, Secretary Power, Government of India. Now coming to BOP and EPC segment, the lack of enough contractor is one of the main causes leading to delays. So what is the government doing to strengthen this particular segment?
Actually, now if you compare our EPC contractors and also I'm talking about EPC contractors in our CPSUs and PSU EPC contractors and vis-a-vis the private contractors, private entrepreneurs, private generating company. The private generating companies are engaging such of those EPC contractors who have adequate man machinery, whereas our people like a BHL and all, they have a limitation because they don't invest much in the equipment item for erecting, machinery, adequate machinery for doing the EPC contract. That's why there are delays. So now because of since large number of companies are coming in India, right now we have got only around 4 or 5 major EPC contractors. But when you are adding 1 lakh megawatt per annum, these 4 or 5 EPC contractors is not adequate. So there will be stress beyond a point. So we are insisting that those who are going to be appointed as EPC contractors have a full-fledged equipment. Not that today I do in Delhi, then I have a equipment in Delhi, tomorrow I go ship the machine at Barauni. So by the time you go to Barauni, another centers are being delayed. So this really takes lots of time. Therefore, we are insisting that those EPC contractors should have full-fledged equipment, man materials, so that they are independent. They don't depend upon one machine to go around the country.
Since we are talking about delays, there is another area where we really need to be cautious, and that is equipment supply. Keeping in mind mammoth capacity addition targets, we simply can't afford delays. Though BHL has increased its manufacturing capacity and a lot of private firms are opting for joint ventures, but the gap is still very wide. So what the government is doing to mitigate this supply-demand gap?
Since we are going forward with the supercritical equipments from say maybe I think by October 16 or 17 of this October next month, our supercritical tender will come in the market. Already we have got about 4 major companies are lined up, like joint venture, like our BHL with the cement, L&T with Mitsubishi. Then like that we have got about 5 companies, joint ventures. They are big ventures. So they'll be doing all the projects now. So they'll not only do the main plan initially, but they'll also do the balance of plan also. So once this 4 or 5 company comes up in our country, I think this the gap between the demand and supply on the equipments will be reduced to a large extent. Not that immediately will be able to do it, improve immediately, but definitely by 2012 onwards, I think our country will be quite in a good position to take care of our interests, because if this 5 company comes, joint venture comes, then they'll not only produce all the machines, heavy machines required for our power generations, but most of them will go for the balance of equipment program also.
Well, after this, another problem which we urgently need to address is manpower shortage, which is an alarming concern for the power sector. The central PSUs have even gone to the extent of adopting ITIs for this purpose. But what about private sector? Do you think that it is easy for the private sector? Are they really ready to adopt them, and how feasible it would be for them?
It is not only the question of erecting a machine or putting a machine, but it is the man behind the machine. So unless we have an adequate number of man engineers, technical man, turners, fitters, welders, etc. So tomorrow, once our own private companies, joint ventures which are coming up in our country, they also require large number of technicians, not only in their factory, in their own floor shop or in their machine equipment assembly center, but also they will require in the erection also outside their company complexes. From our present calculation, we require about 8,800,000 trained different level of people, like not only engineers but we also required ITI fellow, IIT fellow, then polytechnic fellow, who will be doing like from lowest level to highest level. Who go to the major our generating stations which are under erections, you will find them you don't have a very good, you don't get a very expert welders. Now some of the boilers and some of the parts of the equipment in our projects, you require excellent welders. You don't have the welders today. So like that, that's why all our my CPSUs are adopting large number of ITS. Like my NTPC adopted almost about 30 odd ITIs. So also my hydropower division also, National Hydropower Corporation also adopting number of ITS. So they not only they require men, this person for while they erect the machine, but also running the machines. So our country will require huge manpower. In fact, most of them are required in the techno side, like engineers, junior engineers, workers in turners, fitters, welders. All these boys and girls are required for our running those machines.
And now we'll talk about demand side management. What do you think? What is the scope like?
The more you give power, the people want more power. Yesterday, because of lack of power, I was using only one say AC, but people who are having power now, I mean, who can afford and getting power, so they're using 2 ACs. So more you give the power, there's more demand, because there's so much of latent demand in our system, you know. So yeah, we have to reduce the gap. Demand side management, yes, we have to be basically in the field, operationally at the distribution level, they are doing that. And we are also trying to improve the delivery system, the distribution system through AP, DRP and Agara. So I'm sure by another 1.5 to 2 years time, lots of things will improve.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us and discussing all these important issues.
Thank you, Juhi. Thank you so much.
Well, that's all we have in today's episode. I'll see you next week. Goodbye and take care.